Hey guys, this is the Let's Get Ballyer Talking podcast. I'm Riker, my pronouns are he, him.
I'm Sal, my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Brian, my pronouns are he, him.
I'm Dan, I go by any pronouns.
Yeah, so this podcast is going to be bringing to light some of the issues and aspects of being part of the LGBT community, both within Ballyfermot, which is our area, and the surrounding area of like Dublin and Ireland in general as well. We'll be bringing forward our own experiences and our own stories, things that we've seen, things that we've heard as well. So
the topics we discuss on this podcast will be colour coordinated. Typically, most of them will be assigned to each colour that is represented on the rainbow, which is usually the symbol of pride. Obviously, the final one being called Pride, which will lead into our actual event here at Familibase Ballyfermot, will be held on Pride morning, June 29th for this year in 2024. Every year, the Familibase organise a breakfast that is based on celebrating community and celebrating pride in the community. And if you want to come in, we'll have a stall there. If you have any questions of stuff, whether it's being discussed on the podcast, if it's personal issues, or if anything you just want to ask us, feel free to let us know, because we'll all be there, hopefully. It is an open table, so literally just come up. There's no queue or any sort of stupid thing you need to do. Just come up and ask us, please.
Keep in mind, this is all just a bit of fun. We're not professionals. We're just speaking about things that affect us and our own experiences. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy, and on to the episode.
Hey guys, so this episode is orange. Orange in the LGBT flag stands for healing. And under this one we will be covering hate crime and self-love. So to start off, what is a hate crime?
So a hate crime is a crime that is committed based and you're targeted solely based on, say, your gender, your religion, your sex, things like that.
Yeah. So like in the context of LGBT, it would be a crime that's committed against you based solely on the fact that you are, say, gay, trans, bi, lesbian, the fact that you are part of the LGBT community.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have any personal experience with hate crimes?
I mean, minor experiences, like I've definitely been like on buses with friends and people have screamed. I had a man get in my face once actually, for a completely unrelated thing. He was trying to hit on my friend, he was very drunk, and I went over and was like, she's not going home with anyone tonight, she's coming home with me, and was like completely berated, and he got right up into my face screaming at me saying, oh yeah, you lesbo cunts thinking this can come in here, who even thinks I'm going to be doing anything or anything like that, you're just presuming and all this type of thing. And like my cousin actually had to get in between the two of us and be like, step the fuck back, because like I don't appreciate this at all. So like something completely unrelated, and we were still called
and it's still
because I said she was coming home with me that night. So
I don't have much experience, luckily, but I do have friends who've had experience of hate crimes, called slurs, stuff like that. So yeah, not great.
Well, personally, most of mine is also the whole verbal side of things. People getting in your face, screaming at you from across the road. Stupid stuff, like it's dumb.
I have heard, like I've friends that have told me stories of how they've like been physically assaulted because they're gay or trans. That like even just the whole thing of, or you hear stuff on the news like a gay couple walking down the quays
and
they're jumped and they're attacked solely because they're holding hands in public. Like.
Well, I've had a few scuffs with people as well over it, whether it being them screaming at me or screaming. Well, typically no, it's not screaming at me. I don't do anything to protect myself. It's when people go for my friends that I have an issue with. So like it's tough being gay. It's tough existing in a world. Like you don't even have to be gay is the thing. If people look at you and decide that you look gay, like it's so stupid. Like I have straight friends that have been screamed at from across the road, called slurs, people getting in their face and all over, like
because they looked
gay apparently. I don't even know what gay looks like, honestly. Am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it right?
Why can't I look gay? Why does he look gay?
Is there a test on looking gay? Am I failing? I've gotten to an age now where I don't really care, do you know? Like if someone's going to scream at me from across the road or out the window of the car while they drive past, I don't really care. I'm just going to be like, okay, whatever. Because like for me, it comes from a mindset of like, how low do you have to be to attack this random stranger? Do you know, over something that you've decided is wrong?
Especially at this point, we've progressed to a certain degree in the world as well, that being gay is no longer this illegal secret that you have to be.
Yeah. Like it's no longer. I don't want to say it's no longer shunned, because it is in some people's eyes. But
from a majority point of view, though, it's a lot more widespread.
It's a lot more open.
Yeah.
Like I'd say back in like our parents' days, it'd be way worse.
Yeah.
And even then, it wasn't illegal. Like.
Yeah.
But sure, look, we're progressing slowly. Do you think that hate crime is a big issue in Ballyfermot and outside of that, Dublin and then Ireland?
I would say yes.
I'd say minorly, like minor hate crime, yes. Like.
Yeah, again, a lot of it would be verbal abuse, shouting across the road, screaming out of a window type of thing.
Like, I've been working in my shop and people have shouted in the door at me, like...
Yeah.
Or, like, for the month of June and all, like, if I have any rainbows up... Even though I have rainbows on me normally... Not on me, but, like... I come loaded with rainbows.
All day, every day.
No, but, like, it's obviously with me being part of the LGBT community, it's not just a June thing. But, like, obviously it's more... People are more aware of it in June because it's everywhere. Like for Pride Month, I've had literally last year I had a sign up, I think, in my window saying that the shop was a safe space or something like that. I can't remember what it said, but like 3 grown men walked past and said they were gonna come in past me and rip it off the window whether I stood in their way or not. Like 3 grown men.
Yeah.
I'm just a little fella, like.
I'm just a little dude.
Just a little fella. Leave me alone. But like even stuff like that, I do think it is an issue in not just Ballyfermot but Dublin in itself. Yeah. Obviously we'd know more about Ballyfermot living here.
Yeah. But like that's even, we did a Pride event one year. They did a mini march around the Ballyfermot roundabout.
Yeah.
And because obviously the big thing wasn't there, and it was all very safe. Everyone was in their masks and everyone could go down. And like I had brought a group from here down, and obviously we were done up in our rainbows. We had our flags.
Locked and loaded with rainbows.
Locked and loaded with rainbows all day, every day. And we had like, even though it was done by the community, it was mostly like young teenagers.
Yeah.
They were like, oh look at that, they're carrying a gay flag. Like, do you know that type of way?
Yeah.
Just like this, the stupid slurs. The ones that you nearly look at them and be like, oh, you're calling me gay? Thanks.
Yeah.
I know I am. Thanks
and like
very much.
that's the stupid thing about it, like, because are we meant to take it as an insult that they're calling? Yeah, we are gay.
That's the point. That's what I'm trying to put out in the world.
And what? Like, I think a part of it is, there's no laws in Ireland about hate crime.
Yeah.
At least there's possibly some for like specific hate crimes and stuff, but I know there's one for like LGBT issues.
Like, it's very hard to prove that a crime is a hate crime.
Yeah.
So there's no specific laws surrounding hate crimes in Ireland currently.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the issue, because it's very difficult to prove. It's a hate crime.
How are you going to prove that it was motivated solely by the fact that you are gay or trans or bi or lesbian or...
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Is there ways that we can improve as a community when it comes to hate crime?
Yeah, just awareness.
Yeah, awareness is a huge one.
Awareness and education.
Yeah.
The more that people are aware that us as a community exist and we can exist amongst other people and not like do anything, do you know, that type of way. we are normal people with normal jobs that live in normal homes, the same as the rest of you.
We're not the boogeyman coming to take your kids. Like,
no.
We're
all good.
So do you think lack of education has had a hand in the hate crime in the area?
Yeah. 100%.
I'd be in agreement with that myself.
And like you're even like, because Ballyfermot is predominantly a older generation type of community, so there wouldn't have been education around the LGBT community when they were all in school, and trying to grow up in this kind of changing world is hard for a lot of people,
of course.
But even in nowadays, that's what I mean, like most of the people that kind of shouted things at us were in like their late kid years, early teens.
Yeah.
So even in like the education system now, or what they're being taught or what they're looking at online and things, it's still not great. There's still not like that awareness or that visibility out there for them to like pick up on it and be like, maybe this isn't the right thing to say. Even if you don't support it, you don't have to support it, but
maybe you shouldn't, berate people for who they are. What was education like in your school then?
It didn't exist.
Perfect.
It was a very Catholic school. Like there was,
we
learned pretty much nothing about LGBT people,
right?
At all. And even in secondary school, there was not much. No.
Like we had awareness week and that type of thing.
No, we had awareness week, but there was one talk I think in my whole 6 years in secondary school about the LGBT community, and it was only because I demanded it. Because I went to secondary school in the depths of Mayo, and I for some reason, because I was out, I've been out of the closet since I was 14. At least I was open about being bisexual, and then I was more open about being trans when I hit like 16 and 17ish. So all the little gay kids in the school, they wouldn't go to a teacher to talk. They'd go find this random TY walking around the schools. Like, I was the father of so many gay kids in the middle of Mayo. So I pushed for this talk when we were doing awareness week, and it was awful. God, it was so bad. They were the most misinformed group of people they got in. I don't know where they found them. Honest to God.
I was the same, and I was in a school in Drumnet. Do you know what I mean? And now that's when the fourth secondary school I went to, there was so many gay people there. We were all lesbians, like so many, and it was
you were very all girls, weren't you?
I was, the first one I was in was an all girls, and it was it wasn't that you weren't open in the school, but you were open to all the students in the school. Everyone knew kind of who the gay ones were, type of way.
Of course.
But it was never, because they were a Catholic school, it was still very much so, if this could reflect badly on the image of the school. So we were like, okay. The second secondary school I went to was a mixed school, and there was myself and one other person, and they were non-binary at the time, and I was the only openly pansexual, openly not straight person, kind of in the school as such.
Right.
I was in TY at this stage.
Same.
And I was still the only openly not straight person. So all I had the same thing, the third years and the second years all kind of adopted me as their parent. Going around the school, and I'd have all these second and third years following me, and we'd be like, what do you do with this thing, and how does this thing work, and how do you do this thing, and blah, blah, blah.
I'll actually never forget the day that I went into fifth year, and this little fourth year comes up to me and goes, "Are you Riker?" And I was like, yeah. And I had only just taken that name the year before. So I was kind of like, yeah, who are you? One of the junior certs had found this little gay fourth year, looked at him and went, yeah, that's a queer. And sent him my way for guidance. I was like gay Jesus in the fucking school. I had junior certs my little disciples running around recruiting people.
Finding the little gays. To come for guidance and help.
I feel like it did help in the school though, because when my younger siblings went in, then it was way easier for them to exist in the school, because I was so people knew me. You know? People knew who I was, so they, that's Rikers. It's just to pull it back a bit before we go on to self-love and coming out and all that. Do you think it's become trendy for young people to be homophobic or transphobic? I think it has, in the sense of they're seeing it on media, they're seeing memes, they're seeing people online going into people's comments and calling them slurs and making fun of them for the way they act or the way they dress. I think they're seeing that and they're like, this is cool. This is what it means to be cool.
I think the big one currently on social media, have you seen Dylan the girl?
Dylan Mulvaney?
Yeah, Dylan Mulvaney. Because everyone was so supportive of her journey at the start. And then everyone was like, but you still look like a bloke.
But she doesn't.
And it's this whole thing of, oh, you're only faking it now because you got all these followers on social media.
I'm sorry, if I could give up being trans, I would.
But that's why she pulled back on having to do so many videos, and she pulled back on it all because the backlash she got off sharing her journey so publicly online had such a huge effect on her mental health.
Good God.
Because she just got like viciously attacked by people.
Yeah.
And it was like horrific. And it was very much so, you're doing this for clout and doing this to get followers.
I think people just had a problem with the fact she kept the name Dylan.
Yeah. It was
And
that
name
as well.
is a
And
name.
yeah, it's like why are you claiming to be a woman if you have a man's name? And it's like Dylan is
Who decided Dylan is a man's name? I want to talk to them. Who decided what names are male and female?
Yeah.
Who? Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it was so sad.
So stupid. Like, good God.
What about you?
Yeah, I've seen in particular Instagram is the absolute worst.
Instagram is a cesspool. Like, it's
Mhm.
horrible.
Every single video of any queer, even queer looking person, the comments are just a mess.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
I
fucking
saw a video of a fella cooking dinner the other day and it was like, haha, you queer. What do you mean? He needs to eat.
Imagine cooking for yourself to survive.
He's like, yeah, this is the recipe I use for my like, special bolognese or whatever. And they're like, haha, queer. Me? I'm sorry, is bolognese an inherently gay food? Am I missing out on something?
I prefer carbonara now over
Yeah,
bolognese. Like, that's where I got wrong.
Love a good pesto chicken, but like, fucking hell, man. I was so confused because the comments. The comments were just like, you queer, what, you gay or something. Would you relax?
Yeah, but that's also down to it's saying that that goes back to your misogyny,
Yeah,
stereotypical
women
women in the kitchen role,
But like,
as well. So
I want to know.
men that like do them
Yeah.
things of what is deemed the woman's role in the household.
Yeah.
That they must be gay.
I want to know if they went home and saw their dad cooking dinner, would they go, haha, you queer? Like,
Yeah,
so stupid. Do you walk into a restaurant, look into the kitchen and go, queer?
because the chef's a male.
Yeah, but what is wrong with you?
Yeah, and I think like a lot of like the like say queer, gay, fag, like all them words have just become part of the language now.
Yeah.
Like it's not even used as slurs anymore. It's used as a way to describe things nowadays. You know what I mean?
And like, I'm still kind of having this issue with my ma. I love you, ma. I know you'll be listening to this. But especially, see, Christmas time when Fairy Tale New York comes on, and the word is in it.
Yeah.
And every year it's the same argument. Oh, it didn't mean what it means now.
Oh yeah.
It did mean what it means now. You just saw it in a different light because straight people don't have to be hurt by it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not weaponized against straight people. It didn't mean what it means to us, to you. It doesn't matter about time frame. It's always meant that. I know it was used as just something you'd say when you were kids. But like, come on now.
We all know the true meaning.
I love you, Mum, I'm sorry. don't hate me.
In terms of like hate crime in Ireland has reduced.
Definitely,
as
yeah.
the kind of the LGBT community has become more open and out there. So a lot of the
100%.
stuff that does happen, thankfully nowadays, is things online and verbal abuse over anything else.
I used to refuse to go into town without one of my family members with me. Like, up until when I started going out with you guys. Like, now I know we'd still go in groups of at least like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But if I had to go into town on my own, I'd be fine, do you know?
Yeah.
But I swear, I never went into... I lived here for... I've been living here, what, nearly 3-4 years now?
Yeah.
I don't think I went to town... I went to town twice. Until I went out with Jules last year.
Yeah. It was last Pride.
Last Pride we went to.
Yeah.
I didn't go to town at all, other than 2 times with my auntie and 1 time when my ma came up.
Yeah. I still don't like going to town on my own.
No.
Like,
if I can avoid it, I will.
Yeah.
But like, that's just me. I don't like going anywhere alone. Do you know? I fucking hate it.
Yeah. I go out on my own and still end up on the phone to somebody while I'm out the whole time.
100%, yeah. So, what does self-love mean to you guys? When you think of loving yourself in the terms of the LGBT community, what does that mean for you? Does it mean like accepting who you are? Does it mean being comfortable in your flaws? Does it mean a mix of everything?
I don't have flaws, bitch, fuck you.
Okay, my opinion.
So self-love to me would be very much so, I've accepted who I am as a person now and I'm very comfortable with who I am, but kind of the negativity doesn't get to me as much as it would, and that's kind of where my self-love would come in, because I get myself better now. So
see, I think when people hear self-love, it's kind of skewed in people's brains, you know. It doesn't always mean like, oh, I'm so great and everything about me is cool and I love myself. Like, it doesn't have to mean that. Self-love can just be acceptance. Do you know? And I think that's where I am. Like, it's self-love to me doesn't mean that I love myself, because God knows
there are times.
We're working on it. But for me, especially in the terms of the LGBT community, it's been comfortable in who I am. Especially, like, I'm a pre-op trans man, so like it's been hard. Oh, for people that don't know, I forgot, I'm not talking to other trans people. Pre-op would be like pre-operation, pre-transition. Do you know? Like, I still have a female body, despite my best efforts. It's rough trying to transition in this country, I swear, man. But as someone who hasn't been able to transition into the body that I want, and even then, as someone who hasn't been born into the body I want, like, because operations are great, testosterone's great, but it's never going to be the same, do you know? I think that's where I struggled mostly, was accepting the fact that I was not born a cis man. And I think I'm doing better with it now. I still get my days, trust me. Sal gets it off me all the time. Oh, I feel so bad for you, man. Every now and then, like, because we'll text every day, just about work or whatever, and then they'll just get a text and be like, why am I like this?
And we're like, okay, Riker.
Take the breath.
Deep breaths, buddy. I'll bring you a cat monster and we'll have a talk.
Out of nowhere, why am I like this? All I get back is, do you want to smoke?
Do you want me to come around?
Will we have a little chat? But that's what it means for me. And anyways, what about you, Don?
Yeah, I guess it would be the same, like being comfortable. And I noticed, like, after I came out as like non-binary, I started caring more about like what I was wearing, like how I presented myself. Like, I became way more interested in fashion and stuff like that. So I think overall it's been good, because like I've become more comfortable, become more interested in taking care of myself. And I guess that's what self-love would mean to me.
Oh yeah. Onto that topic, would you say you're more comfortable in your identity now than when you first came out? And I think this one is an interesting question, because I know we all came out at different stages in life. Like, I've been out since I was 14, as I said earlier. Sal, you came out... I
was 18 or 19 before. I was 14 when I came out as bisexual. But I was 19 before I came out as non-binary.
Oh, see, I kind of double whammied my poor mother. It was a case of I'm bisexual and also I'm trans. I
gave my mum a bit of time to fizzle out the bisexual.
Oh no, I went full gun like.
And then how old were you?
I was 21 when I came out as bi and non-binary, and then like 22 when I like wanted to transition. I think. Yeah.
So I think the would you say you're more comfortable now question is, it's an interesting topic, considering we all did it at different ages. Like we like, I've been out longer as a trans man than either of you. We've been out as bi since the same age.
Yeah, same age.
And Dan is like fresh on the scene. So
you're the baby gay.
What's up with Dan? Would you say you're more comfortable now than when you came out?
Yeah. I mean, I felt comfortable when I was like first came out as non-binary, and then I had like a week or two of oh fuck.
I think that's like a universal trans thing.
Yeah, but then after that I kind of slowly got used to it, I guess, and then now I'm pretty comfortable, I'd say.
Which is good, considering you would have only, like, from a trans point of view, you would have only come out last year. So it's good that you're so comfortable. You're as comfortable as you are already in only a year. Like.
Yeah, no, it is. It's really nice to see, because like, obviously we came out younger. For me, it was an absolute nightmare. But like, it's nice to see that in the past couple of years, it's been easier for people to be more comfortable with themselves sooner. You know.
I mean, to be fair, like I'm not super interested in like dressing femininely. So
well,
like,
you don't have to be.
Yeah.
If I was though, it might be a bit harder because like then I'd have, I don't know, it might be harder to deal with dysphoria, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's understandable though.
I mean, when I came out so I would have come out as bisexual when I was 14, which was horrific. Because I had a girlfriend at the time, and I had tried to tell my mom that I had a girlfriend, and she was like, "Oh yeah, your best friend."
Oh.
And I was like, back in 2015, everyone came out on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I came out on Facebook after telling my parents, because I was like, okay, they know, let's tell everyone. And it was very abruptly met with, take that down, you're going to become a disgrace to the family, you should have talked to us about this first, don't ever put something like that up on social media again. So it was a very quick change from completely ignoring it to very much so being like, this is not a thing that we do. Do you know, that type of way? And then, so when I came out as non-binary, I didn't realise non-binary was a thing when I came out, so I thought I was trans.
I didn't know trans was a thing. I was like, why do I feel like a boy?
Yeah. I knew I didn't feel
search.
I knew I didn't feel like a woman. I didn't feel like a girl. But I didn't realise non-binary was a thing. And I was 17 kind of when I started questioning stuff. So I was like 2 years trying to figure out, where do I fit in the trans label? Thinking the only other option for me is to be a man.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a girl, so I have to be a boy. Do you know, that type of way? And then, so it was 2020, so I was 19, and it was only like in the last 6 months of discovery, I found out that non-binary was a thing. And I was like, oh my god, I don't have to be a man if I don't want to be a man. Do you know, that type of way? Which then caused complete oh fuck moment all over again, complete gender identity crisis. And I came out, and one of my best mates was the first person I came out to, and it was like literally between sobs. I was like, what do I do? And he was like, nothing, you just figured out who you are. And I was like, ah, sobbing, crying, like. But yeah, that was mental. And I think I was so toxically masculine when I first came out, and toxically androgynous.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, now I'm non-binary, I have to only be that on the outside.
I had the same.
So that everyone can see that I am like this gender fluid alien thing that's living amongst the rest of you.
Yeah.
And now I don't care, because I've calmed down a bit. It's been 4 years, so I'm kind of, I don't really care as much about what I physically wear in that sense.
Yeah.
But I was very toxically androgynous masculine when I first came out, because that's what I thought I had to do.
Yeah.
So
I guess it was the same deal with me. Like, it's been nearly 10 years since I first realised what trans meant. And I think I came out to my little sister first. We were cleaning the kitchen. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. Don't ask why we were cleaning the kitchen at 11 o'clock at night. I just know it was late. It was a weekend. Oh, I know exactly why I was cleaning. We were going on holiday the next day. We were going to Wales.
Oh, the deep house clean before you go away. Yeah.
We were going to Wales. So me and my sister were cleaning the kitchen. And I was literally wiping down counters. And she was drying dishes. And I looked at her and I was like, I think I'm a boy. And she was like, Because like there's, I was 4, she would have been 10 years old. And I dropped this on this poor child. I'm sorry about that, by the way. I know you were going to listen to this too.
I gotta tell my 10-year-old sister, oh yeah, I'm a boy.
I didn't know who else to tell. I didn't have friends. So like I just turned around and I was like, I think I'm a boy. And she goes, what do you mean? And I was like, I don't think I'm a girl, I think I'm a boy. And I explained it to her and she was like, okay. Hey, that's cool. You're my brother now. And I was like, oh. And then literally the next day, I was in the bathroom or something. She wanted me to hand her the hairbrush, and I was like, I can't reach it. You're gonna have to wait. And she goes, I'm gonna tell Ma you're trans.
Use it as blackmail already.
I forgive you for this, by the way. It's okay. And so I'm in the bathroom now in floods of tears. We're packing, like my whole family is packing the car to go to Wales. And my ma knocks on the door and goes, are you ready? And I'm like, yeah, give me a minute. And she goes, what are you crying for? So she pulls me into the front room. And I was like, she wanted the hairbrush. And then she said she was going to tell you I'm trans. And my mom was like, What? So I had to like calm down a bit and then actually explain myself.
Yeah.
And I hated her for. I didn't hate her for this. I don't hate you, man. It's not that I hated you for it. It's just I kind of took it to heart when you said you're probably just confused. Wait until you're 18.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of parents have that though.
Yeah.
Especially if you come out in your teens, because hormones, experimentation, everyone like goes through a phase. Yeah. For some people, it's not a phase.
I understand now why you did it. But like when I was a teenager, I was like, my mum won't let me be trans. But yeah, that was how I first came out in floods of tears over a hairbrush.
Because your 10-year-old sister tried to blackmail you.
And then I sat in a car for 3 hours beside said sister on the drive from the middle of Roscommon to the ferry to go to Wales. So we went on holiday. I think it was forgotten about for a while, and then I think I was maybe 15, 16 when I started telling my mates. Because I lopped all my hair off in like a manic episode one summer. I actually got my auntie to do it. She's a hairdresser, so no one comes for me for that.
I lopped all my hair off and did it too all over in my kitchen.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've absolutely done that after I got chopped all my hair. Yeah. But I had hair down to like my waist, and I was like, pixie cut. Yeah. Because it was the most she'd do. Yeah. No, that's fair. She was like, I'm gonna destroy your hair. And I was like, I don't care as long as it's short. So chopped all my hair off, came back, and my mates were like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What happened?
What happened?
We left you for a summer.
One summer I come back, no hair. Yeah. So I ended up telling them then, they were like, okay, we kind of figured.
I always love when you come out to someone, they're like, yeah, I already know that. And I was like, could you not have told me?
My best mates, when I came out to them, they were like, yeah, we knew, like, and I was like, what do you mean? I've been sitting here shitting myself trying to figure out how to tell you that I am a trans man, and you're sitting there being like, yeah, I know, anyways, do you want to play this game? Like, what do you mean? So like I got lucky with my mates, and then eventually I turned 18. First thing I did was like, mother, I'm still a fella. And she was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. That checks out. Yeah, it's been 4 years. Like, it's mad to think that was like 6 years ago. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, fucking hell, nearly 10 years out the closet. But I mean, now, 100% more comfortable. I don't give a fuck anymore. I think I carry myself more masculine than it. Yeah. Please tell me I do it wrong.
No, you do.
You do. I see. I'm still a little bit self-conscious. But like, I think I carry myself masculine enough to warrant not caring about my clothes. Yeah. I'm gonna dress what's comfortable for me. And I'm gonna wear what's comfortable for me. I'm gonna act the way it's comfortable for me, because like I've been out 10 years. Like it's. Do you know how much energy it is caring constantly?
For 10 years.
For 10 years, whether people are going to perceive you the way you want to be perceived. No, it's never going to happen. I could have a full-on beard and everything, and someone is still going to look at me and be like, you're a woman. Like, I see it online every day. Blokes that you actually wouldn't be able to tell they were trans unless they told you themselves. Yeah. And people in their comments are like, yeah, but you're a girl though. Yeah. What you mean?
If I wasn't openly trans, you wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah. If you didn't know I was trans, you would have no idea. Yeah. Like... So I don't really care anymore, do you know? In the least spiraling way possible. I don't care what I'm perceived as anymore. Yeah. So, do you think that your home life or community affected your perspective of self-love and your identity when you were growing up?
Yeah, it would have done. Like, we would come from a very... My family, just as a general rule of thumb, we're quite closed off in a sense. We don't really talk about things, and like that goes for everything really. We've gotten better. I think COVID, because we were all literally locked in a house with each other for nearly 2 years straight, we got better at communicating everything with each other. So now we all talk all the time. Yeah. But pre-COVID, it was very much so. If you had problems, you didn't talk about them unless they were huge problems that needed to be talked about, you know what I mean? But it was still very much so. Like, I would say to my mum and my mum only, And she would only say it to like my dad if it was like...
If it was super important.
Yeah, super important type of thing. I wasn't close with my brothers, my sisters were younger than me, so it was never that thing. Whereas now we all kind of just talk openly.
Sisters being younger than me apparently never stopped me. Poor Good God.
Yeah, but like also we, like the marriage referendum was only in 2015. Yeah. So like I was 14 before it was viewed to be okay to be married to someone of the same sex.
Yeah.
So
I think actually that referendum was when I told my dad that I was bi.
Yeah, the kind of it would have been after that referendum that I would have come out as well, because I would have been 14. Yeah.
I think my mum always knew.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm like my friends knew because I told them when I was 14.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I think my mum always knew.
Yeah.
But you know, I told my dad after the referendum. And
well,
I only remember that because I distinctly remember sitting in the car with him driving past the poster and me testing the waters, thinking I was slick. Being like, so are you gonna what you think of that referendum there? What are you gonna vote? And he immediately shot me down because he goes, well, I think it's gross, but like, you know, it's not really my place, so I'm gonna vote yeah. And I was like, what do you mean you think it's gross? I'm sat next to this man. I was like, now obviously he's gotten better in the years because, you know, now he has gay kids and he has no choice. But like that's his upbringing, do you know? Like he grew up in an area where the whole mindset was, oh, that's gross.
Yeah. And
like obviously I grew up the same way because parents, you know how it works. My ma has always been chill enough about it.
Yeah. Like my parents are chill enough about it, but it's just we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
It was never talked about. It wasn't ever going to be a topic that we were going to talk about. They're not comfortable talking about, and I'm okay with that because I'm not comfortable talking to them about it either. Because it's the same with the upbringing.
In fairness, it was the same in my house. No one talked about it until I came home with a bouquet of roses from my then girlfriend. Like, and they were like, "Fuck's that."
Yeah. Well, sure. My girlfriend was my best friend, so you know.
Well, so was mine.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
So. But yeah, I think it goes back generations, you know. Like your parents' upbringing, their upbringing affects your upbringing. It's a big mess, big mess.
Yeah, but the fact, I think a lot of, say, like our parents' generation, they are trying.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, they're getting way better.
Yeah, and especially like even them, those of them that have like kids in their 20s, late teens, are really trying because it's so, even just from an experimental point of view, like teenagers and like late teens won't put a label on stuff, but they will go out and meet friends, or they might try dating their girl best friend if they're a girl and see how things go, and I there's not as much of a stigma around it.
Yeah.
In that sense, like just as a general sense, there's not as much of a stigma around it, so I feel like there's more kind of, they're allowed to be more at ease with it happening now.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up, I literally, for the longest time, I'd never even heard about like queer people. So like, I heard like the words used, and I didn't really know what they mean. I just kind of said them.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like secondary, I think. Most of my view of like queer people was from online, and it was a bit misinformed, to be honest.
Yeah, I can agree with that. That's what was mine. Like,
yeah, I would have been the same.
Like I remember one time, Jesus, I would have been 12, and someone in my school was like, "Would you ever date a girl?" And I went, no.
Yeah.
Why would that be it?
Yeah.
And then 14-year-old me was like, "Fuck, maybe I would."
Yeah.
Shit,
girls are pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't really until like my friends started coming out as trans and stuff that like I guess it caused me to reflect on my gender and things like that.
Yeah.
I remember one of my friends being like, "Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna come out as gay at some point."
Foreboding music.
And I was like, haha, yeah, sure man, and then it happened.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, fuck.
Yeah. He was right.
Well, she.
Oh,
she.
Oh, shit. She was right.
What have you done? Did your upbringing make it harder or easier for you to accept your identity?
Oh.
And as a result, how did your peers take it?
The bisexual thing was easy.
Yeah.
Because I think the year that we would have come out as bi, everyone came out as bisexual.
Yeah.
It was like, that was the trend of the time, everyone was bisexual. That's when you kind of, the phrase spaghetti going straight till it's wet, that kind of came out.
That was the new craze.
Yeah, and that's, so like, in regards to my peers, they were like, oh yeah, you're bi, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm pansexual now, so I kind of, it never really affected that because everyone was bi when we came out.
Yeah, it was a done thing back then. Like, if you were, you came out.
Yeah.
That was the time to be a young bisexual person.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I've struggled a lot more with being non-binary and having people accept that
100%.
from an identity and pronouns point of view.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I go by Sal. That was my nickname before all of
That's
this.
the thing that always makes me laugh about you.
Yeah.
You went by Sal before you were
before
non-binary.
I was non-binary, and then as soon as I came out as non-binary, people started calling me my full name all over again. And I was like, you've all called me Sal up until this point, so can you keep doing that, please? They have gotten better over time, and like, it's been what, 4 years, 5 years, and like, my long-standing friends are now getting the grasp of the neutral pronouns, which is like, in 4 years quite good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? My friends that I probably would have met in the last like year or 2 years, they would have known me as Sal.
Yeah.
And known to use the neutral pronouns, so that hasn't been an issue at all.
Yeah. Like, I met you as Sal.
Yeah.
Now, I knew your dead name because you worked in the space that I was a young person.
Yeah.
But I knew you as Sal.
Yeah.
You've always been Sal.
Yeah. So like, my new friends will say they've only ever known me as Sal. They know to use neutral pronouns, so it's never been an issue from like a peer.
I must have found you like a year after you came out, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 3 years since. Oh my god.
Yeah, you found me a year after I came out.
Yeah.
I wasn't publicly out when. The funny story, I was a Rikers youth worker for a year before.
Yeah, it's actually quite funny considering I'm older than them.
Yeah. And I was his youth worker for a year before we became friends, because we couldn't be friends because I worked with him as a young person, like. And but I wasn't open when you, because you wouldn't know me by my full name.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't openly out in the workspace yet as Sal, as non-binary. Yeah.
I don't think my upbringing affected it much, because by the time I came out, my friends had already come out as trans, so like any like misinformed opinions I had, I kind of changed like by that point.
Yeah.
So I was okay with it. I didn't have any major problems with coming out, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
So then, from a peer point of view as well.
Yeah, they were fine.
Your peers would have been handy as well.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare for me. I was the first everywhere. I was the first in my school to come out as trans, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I was the first in the family, as far as I know, to come out as trans. I was the first of 5 kids. Not all 5 of my mother's kids have come out as trans. I need to preface this. Like, it got to a point where the second oldest, she came out as straight, like, because there was a whole thing. It was really funny.
There's so much gay in the household.
So like, I was the first of, like, I'm help.
Your mother's first child.
I'm my mother's first child, and so she's never had to experience having a trans child before. Now she has like 1.5. Because I think the middle child is still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is grand because they're a teenager. You know.
Come back to us when they're 18.
Yeah. I'll put a man on them. I will not threaten to out them over a hairbrush though.
No.
Looking at you, second oldest child. But like, I was the first in all aspects. You know, I was first in my friend group. I was the first of my class, definitely, probably my school. And it was a nightmare. It was bad. It was really bad because I had no one to pave the way for me. I paved the way. I was the path maker.
You were the gay Jesus.
I was gay Jesus. Yeah, how could I forget? But it was definitely harder. I think Family-wise, I was grand. So I wasn't too bad family-wise. I was nervous as all shite, but that's just me. That's me as a person. Like, peer-wise, friend group, my close friends, I was completely fine. There was one or two that, like, out of spite, started dead naming me, even though they were completely fine using my nickname, which was a masculine nickname in anyways. My problem was with the system, like the school system, because I remember I went through the whole of school, even cert year, I wanted to come out because I didn't want to go through my grad and have no one know, do you know? Now most of my class knew already because again I was out, and there was some things said and some people in charge said it was a disgrace to have someone like me in the school. And I think I took that to heart more than anything anyone else could have said, because these are people that are meant to, like, look out for us.
Yeah, they're meant to be, they're your teachers, they're literally our mentors, they're helping, as much as it's from an education side of things, they're still helping to form you as a human being in some of your most vulnerable years as a teenager.
That's why, like, I'm more baffled that whatever with kids in my school not being accepting or being, like, spitefully not accepting and sly about it.
It's the grown adults.
It's grown adults. Like, I remember when I was told that, I didn't react. I just kind of went, okay. And I went home, and it was me and my sister, and my mother was out shopping, and she rang to make sure we got into the house, because sometimes I'm stupid and don't know how to use keys. So my sister picks up the phone when it rings, and the second I hear my mom's voice, I just burst into tears. And I remember, like, she stormed that school and everything over it. It was gas.
It was so funny.
She stormed the place. But, like, and then there was the whole, oh, well, we can't actually let you come out. I think the wording they used was, for the safety of the other students, we can't let you come out. They said this in front of me and another teacher who I was close with, who sat in so I would be comfortable. For the safety of the other students, and I was also told, you can just use the disabled toilet, it's the same thing. Probably, I'm hoping, not what they meant, but maybe figure out how to word it better, please, for the sanity of your students.
Hopefully now they can do better.
I'm praying. I'll ask my siblings, they're in the school. But yeah, it was a whole hullabaloo. And
hullabaloo, you don't get that word very often.
But, like, it's crazy, right? Because the people close to me, I was grand. It's outside people that were like,
But it's the outside opinions that you end up taking on.
Yeah, but see, like, again, I know where this person was coming from, and it was to do with their upbringing that they said this, because they were from a religious background.
Yeah, so what are labels? Labels are what you want to be identified as, how you want to be perceived.
Yeah, they're descriptive words.
Yeah, so
to make it short and easy.
Yeah, so my labels would be, from sexuality side of things, I am pansexual. From a gender identity side of things, I am non-binary.
Yeah.
They are my labels. They are what I like to be defined as.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I am.
Okay. What do they... Are labels important to you?
They're not as important to me now.
Right. Same
as someone in their early 20s as they would have been in my late teens.
Yeah.
Or as they would have been when I first came out.
Yeah.
When I first came out, my labels were very important to me because I was transitioning from a woman to a non-binary person.
Yeah.
I wanted to only be referred to as a non-binary person. I was never to be looked at as a woman again, and I was very strict on that when I first came out. So I was very obsessive over labels.
Yeah.
Say a couple of years ago.
I think honestly most young LGBT people go through that little phase of like, this is what I am and I has to stick to this and this, I can't stray outside of this. And
whereas now I'm like gender fluid, non-binary. I will back and forth between kind of anything and everything on the spectrum and everything in between. Like,
yeah, because gender is a spectrum.
Yeah.
Like,
gender is a spectrum, 100%. But like, I'm not as, I think because I'm more comfortable with myself, I don't have as much need to put as much pressure on labels with people.
What about you, Dan? Because you're not out as long as us. Are labels still important to you, or have they ever been important to you?
I mean, I think they're useful when you're like coming out, because like someone tells you, hey, maybe you're non-binary, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, now they're not important at all. Like, I guess I'm non-binary, trans, femme, whatever, but I don't care too much. It's fine.
Yeah.
I know, like, it was the same with me as you, Sal. I was very, like, when I came out, I was like, I am a trans man, and I think I first came out as bisexual. So I glued myself to those, like, it was ridiculous. I literally, I think at one point in my early teens, I googled, what does it mean to be a trans man? And I like grabbed the definition and just copy pasted it into my brain. Yeah. Like, it was bad. Yeah. It was bad. But
it was just so that if somebody asked you, you could recite this to them.
Yeah. So that it looked like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's stupid because everyone has different experiences. But like now, I guess like my labels would be, I'm a trans man. I don't typically label my sexuality. Like I just leave it open. I like who I like, you know? Yeah. I guess people would class me as a pansexual, but I really don't care, you know? Yeah. You can call me what you want at this rate. I as I said earlier, I give up. But now, like, I don't, even the trans man thing, like, now I am a man. I'm a bloke. True and true. There's no non-binary in my body. I'm on a very severe end of the spectrum. Yeah. Both of them.
Well, yeah, I think it's just when you initially come out, and especially if you come out so young, labels are what, and people nearly push you to put a label on it. Because if you're like, if someone asks, oh, what are you? And if you say, oh, I don't know, they're like, well, you have to know. Yeah. You have to know. You have to be something.
I even get that now when people are like, so like, well, what's your sexuality? What are you into? And I'm like, I like who I like. And they're like, no, that's not good enough. Like, like you into girls, you into boys. Yeah. Leave me alone.
I think as you get older, like that's, we're all in our early 20s. I think as you get older, people care less. Yeah. So you just in like instinct just start to care less.
Yeah, of course.
About like rigidly labeling yourself. Do you know what I mean? I would stick to the labels that I would have had when I first came out, just solely for the fact of that's how I identified myself, and I still currently identify with them. They still speak to me in some way, shape, or form. So I'm happy to use them. Yeah. So if I meet someone new and they're like, oh, what are you? I can literally just like kind of like rhyme it off.
For simplicity's sake, I do the same. Yeah. Like I'll rant out, I'm a trans man. Some days I might say I'm bisexual. Some days I might say I'm pansexual.
I use bisexual because it's so much easier to explain.
It depends on your audience, right? Because not everyone knows what pansexual means. Yeah. And like there's still that group of people that are like, isn't pansexual and bisexual the same thing? No. I'm gonna list off some definitions for you. Bisexual means you like two genders. Bi is two. Pan is all. Yeah. So with gender being a spectrum, bisexual could mean you like men and non-binary people. Or men and women, or women and non-binary people. Pansexual is you like anyone, regardless of gender.
So pan in Latin means life. So it goes back to that you're attracted to their life form, their being, who they are, what they are. Yeah. Instead of physically what they have.
What they have, yeah. That's the essence of being pansexual. It's you like all genders, you like people regardless of gender. Which I guess is why that would be the label I'd slap on myself if I had to. I don't believe in labeling my sexuality because I don't see the point. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I like who I like. Whoever I end up with, if I ever end up with anyone at this rate. I don't. Right. Here's my thought process on it, and it's kind of pessimistic, right? It doesn't matter who I end up with, right? Because if I end up with a boy, people are going to be like, oh, so you were just gay the whole time. If I end up with a girl, oh, so you're just straight. There's no winning. There is no winning. And like even when I came out as bisexual, and I had a girlfriend, I had like people that I went to school with just being like, oh, so you're just a lesbian. Yeah. No, I still like both. Yeah. And then there's still that stereotype of like, oh, well, if you're bisexual, that means you're going to cheat on me because you like both genders. Yeah. Pansexuals get that a lot too. Yeah. Naturally. But where did that come from? Like, bisexual people aren't any more likely to cheat on you than a person who likes one gender. Yeah. Because think of it logically, right? if it's a woman and she is straight and likes men, or if it's a man and he's straight and likes women, there's still more men and women in the world. There's still people to cheat on you with.
Yeah.
Why is
But
it...
if you're bisexual, you can take from both pools.
I'm gonna take them all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was kind of the thinking behind it. Of, oh, well, if you like men and women, it means you can cheat on me with anyone.
Yeah, it's just silly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll finish up with, do you hold yourself to the societal expectations and labels put on trans or gay people?
To an extent, I would say no.
Okay.
Because, again, especially as a non-binary person, non-binary is so new in regards to
society. Yeah.
That they don't have, I mean, like, obviously non-binary people are meant to be androgynous. You're meant to not conform to a gender.
Yeah.
So I say in that sense of things, no, I wouldn't, because I would definitely, based on my feelings and based on my mood and how I'm doing, I would some way, shape or form lean one way or another. So I would not be androgynous and genderless all of the time, you know, type of way. So to that extent, no, I wouldn't kind of conform to what society would view me as.
I want to point that out, actually. There seems to be a lot of societal confusion between non-binary people and agender people.
Yes.
Agender means you've no gender. No gender, gone. Taken away by the non-binary people. No, it was not taken away by the non-binary people.
It's like how the ginger steal your souls. We steal your
non-binary means you do not conform to any one gender.
Mm-hmm.
It means you are not just this one gender, you are just your own thing. You're somewhere in the middle. Agender means you've no gender. Mm-hmm. So, like, expecting non-binary people to have no gender, like, or to look like they have no gender, is silly. Like, the label side of things, I don't label my sexuality. I almost said gender again. I don't label my sexuality, so no, I don't hold myself to societal expectations for my labels, because I simply do not have them.
Yeah.
As far as gender goes, societal expectations for trans men, not really. No. I think. What are the societal expectations of trans men?
But that stems again. I think the societal expectation for trans men is that they must be men.
Would you say I'm a manly man?
I would, yes.
So I guess, right? Yeah. It's all contextual, you know.
It's also how people perceive you as well.
Yeah, like everyone's gonna perceive me differently.
Yeah, but also people's expectations, personal expectations of what a man is.
Yeah.
Are gonna shift.
Are gonna be different.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm somewhat manly. I think I carry myself fairly masculine.
You do.
I am a man, so I mean it would make sense for me to act masculine. But again, masculinity means different things for everyone. You know?
Yeah.
I couldn't even describe to you what masculinity means to me. I just know I'm a
man. That's enough.
So I think that's the only label I would really hold myself to, but
yeah. But even in
societal expectation,
yeah,
I don't know what that even means.
Yeah. I think societal expectations have shifted and become more kind of fluid.
Yeah, which I'm grateful for. Thank you, society.
But yeah. What about you, Dan?
I don't really care about like upholding labels or whatever. I mean, I don't really care about like societal labels. I mean, I'm not out to people, so most people see me as a man.
Yeah.
Whatever, it is what it is. Yeah. But yeah, it happens. I'm not bothered by it. It's whatever.
But that's even you were saying earlier as well. You don't feel the need to dress kind of hyper feminine.
Yeah.
To be perceived as a woman either. So.
Yeah.
Alright, well I think we've yabbered on enough.
Yeah.
Everyone has probably already turned this episode off. If you've made it to the end, thanks.
Yay.
Appreciate it. So yeah, that was hate, crime and self-love.
Yeah.
Again, any questions you can pop on down on the 29th of June to our Pride Breakfast morning, and we'll have our little open table. We'll all be there. You can come ask us questions if you want more stupid stories, if you want more information, if you just want to chat, pop down, we'll be there. Ryan is missing in action at the moment, but we'll have him back for the next one, so not to worry.
But yeah,
That's us.
That's us.
Right, we'll see you in the next one.
Day.
Day.